Alright. Just getting set up here. On the World of Warships. On the PC. Good times. We're going to see just what's going on with the planes these days. Because I know every time they come out with a World of Warships Legends video, something, update, they're like, why aren't there aircraft carriers? Maybe there are good reasons for there not to be aircraft carriers. Let's see. Last time I played this, it was a little bit of a mess. So hopefully it's gotten a little bit better since last time. I need to remember to put on headphones because otherwise it's just going to be terrible. I need to use WASD, I guess. Now the one thing I can't say for certain is that I remember this would feel great if I could use a controller with it. But such is life. Alright, so this feels pretty familiar. That sounded kind of French, right? Not like Japanese. So I think my Japanese carrier here is at the lowest possible level. The Hosho? Probably. Oh, so many boats. Kind of didn't feel fair. All right. So this is kind of par for the course. I think a lot of people complain about how the aircraft carrier can more or less spot everybody. I need to get out of there because that's not going to work. Welcome, Darren. And yeah, I mean, I can't tell you how similar these things are to the console version, and yet I am completely lost. Oh, I see what's happening. He's in a French ship, and he's talking to me as though I speak France. So that's not going to work. Just look at the ridiculous amount of AA that's going on there. What is happening with my screen? We're going to need to fix that. Let's see if we can't do something about this. Why are you the wrong size? You. Become full size. There you go. Haha! I don't know what I'm doing, man. This is This is a duct tape production if you've ever seen one. But for the most part, it's just we're having a little bit of fun playing some what in the world? World of Boats. The other type of World of Boats. This isn't gonna work. All right. This is going to be the embarrassing part where I try to get familiar with how to play the game again. But it'll pass. And even just like the moving around, I think, is going to be tricky if they try to like import that over to the console. Yeah, I want to say that I agree and I disagree at the same time, because every time I play this, I think, man, this would be so much more fun with a controller. And then every time I play this, I also think, this is a complete disaster. I hope they never do it on console. So it's tricky. It's a tricky thing trying to figure out how the carriers ought to fit into the World of Boats sort of scene. I'm not real happy about how my life is going here so far. The sad thing is, I think that carriers get more effective the longer the game goes on. And that's kind of, I mean, it makes sense in a lot of ways, but then at the same time, it's just kind of, you don't have a lot of influence on the game because you're waiting for the rest of the team to make sure that you don't lose. And I mean, if that's what playing a carrier is all about, then it's just not going to be very good. Furry Taco. There's that T-22. It's not in early access over here. So this Furry Taco doesn't look like he's going very quick. Yeah, but I'm gonna miss him. Oh no. Bad times. I don't know why I started with Japanese carriers. They're the least favorite? My least favorite? Yeah, I get it. Hey Caesar, how you doing? So I guess what I'd say, Darren, is at the very least, it's fun to kind of like control the squadron. And you can imagine like the little subtleties that you could get with a controller that you don't get with this sort of WASD stuff. I recalled my squadron there mostly because there were too many destroyers out there, and the destroyers were going to chew up my dive bombers, and my dive bombers weren't going to be very effective against them. So Japanese dive bombers use armor-piercing bombs, and that's neat sometimes when you're attacking battleships, some cruisers, big slow cruiser sort of thing. But what they're doing right now, like, look at all these ships. They're like all huddled together. There's not much I can do about this. And that just sucks. Oh, I should pay attention to what I'm doing. So there's their carrier. This is going to be really bad for me. But I'm going to get a couple of hits on him and start to work him down. Probably not the best idea, but the fact of the matter is they've got too many ships too close together, and with the overlapping AA, I mean, I could fly in there, but it would just suck. Yeah. That is too bad. In fact, it's so too bad that I've never even tried it, in spite of kind of complaining about it the whole time. But I'd have to like set up my own thing. And the whole reason that we're all console peasants is because we want things to be easy and fun and just work. So I'm staying away from that Pieter, whatever the heck that says, mostly because I seem to remember Japanese, not Japanese, but Russian ships having just ridiculous AA. But I mean, I'm not doing a whole lot of anything here. And I'm gonna lose my entire squadron there. So this is kind of shaping up to be exactly what I thought it was going to be, which is people complained about the carriers being too good, and now the carriers are utterly terrible, and it's just hard to find the right balance between terrible and good. Now my aircraft carrier is detected, and it's a sad time. So we're using a little bit of boost here. That looks okay. No, it doesn't. It just sucks. So I'm gonna have to like try to dive bomber this guy. With dive bombers, it's best to go stem to stern sort of thing, and that's what I'm trying to line up here. I'm a little bit diagonal. I'm gonna try to fix that a little bit, but you see we get a nice citadel there. Unfortunately, we've basically lost all of our planes. So, I mean, we're pretty well screwed there. Thankfully, we get saved by other people on our team. Now, Darren, you seem to be fairly aware of the aircraft carrier situation on the PC. I think. What do you think about the +1 -1 that we've got in Legends? Because you probably wouldn't have the same problem where if you're top tier, you're just godly, and if you're bottom tier, you're terrible. So I think the tiering problem is taken care of a little bit if it was in Legends, because we don't have that sort of, you're not going to see that much of a power differential between each carrier. It would be a much more gradual progression. Holy jeez. So many guns. Why so many guns? I don't think this is going to work. Yeah, that's too close. We win! Guys, I want you to know, this is all me. Team score. Tacticangel right there towards the bottom. I like to leave my insignia as though I haven't ever played the game before, on the off chance that I actually kill somebody. It'll make them feel a little bit worse about their life. Alright, so this is the tier 6 Ranger. I'll just go through this carousel a little bit. You can see I don't have a lot of experience on the PC version. For the most part, I just occasionally log into this and kind of get my ass kicked a little bit. Wait a second. Don't I get, like, stuff? I have a lot of credits. What is this? Well, whatever it is, it takes forever to load, so we're not going to do that. I like to play every 90 days, because after 90 days they mark you as kind of like an absentee player. And if they mark you as an absentee player, then they tend to throw lots of credits at you to make you come back and play. And it's like, oh, yes, of course. I'm very interested in what you're doing. And then you come back and you play like 5 games and you're like, okay, the carrier game is still not up to par. I'll see you in 3 months. Tier 6. We're top tier. We're in a Ranger. I should do slightly less worse than last time. And here's the thing about straight on the PC. Autopilot mode enabled. At least it's not... They're not making you kind of do weird stuff in straight. Because they play left-right. We play north-south. And north-south is terrible. East-west is okay-ish. It's just that it kind of sucks because it's 2 wide open melees versus an open middle, and then what happens? I don't know. I don't like our setup on straight. I'm just going to say it right out. The console version of straight is not so good. Where are all the boats? I do apologize a little bit for the quality of the video. I think I'd probably be a lot better off if I were playing it on something that wasn't a laptop. But this laptop is what I use to render all of my videos. The nice thing about rendering videos on a laptop is you don't have to worry too much about like the quality being terrible, because it'll just take longer. Yeah, I agree though. It does feel smaller on console. Partially because they spawn you just so close to the enemy. Now we did get the better of the two spawns because I don't have to worry about other people coming in and sniping me. And I'm not sure this Britannia is paying any attention. Yeah, he is. He's moving. Nuremberg does not have great AA. Oh man, it used to be that what I would do is I would launch just constant rocket planes, and I would just do terrible things to the enemy. That was right after the carrier rework, and I feel like kind of ever since the patch after that, things have been getting worse and worse for the carrier. And I mean, at this point you could put them into Legends and it just wouldn't be any fun. So we're trying to help this this other destroyer out. That was terrible. If only I had a controller, it would have been great. What is that? Fusion? I don't even know what that is. I don't have the first clue what this is. Now the bad thing about this is you kind of have to slam on the brakes in order to hit anything. Now we did get a pretty decent attack in there. This Fusion does not have... It doesn't appear as though he's spec'd out to be AA, so... Oh, shoot. If I'm shooting down aircraft with fighters, that means that they are attacking my aircraft carrier, which is not so good. Well, I guess everybody has different opinions in terms of the carrier rework. I like the general idea. I just think the execution doesn't quite work. And it used to be really easy to spoof all this stuff. All the aircraft, anti-aircraft fire. It looks like he's still going backwards. You want to kind of over-aim some of those. Mostly so that you can hit the superstructure. That said, it looks like our team is falling apart. And I'm not doing a whole lot to help it because I've only done about 14,000 damage. So, you know, whatever. I think that said a Marblehead in the middle. And I think if the Marblehead has anything close to the amount of... Uh-oh. I'm being about hit by torpedoes. So that's just a sad reality I'm going to have to deal with. Marblehead on the console doesn't have any anti-aircraft worth talking about. So I'm going to assume that it also doesn't have any here. That's just, I don't know how to use a mouse right there. So this is,
Taking fire. Airborne.
you can sink my Scharnhorst again? Oh, that's just hateful.
Taking fire. Fighter airborne.
Man, I don't know about you, but it was the rest of my team, man. I was doing great. Those guys were a bunch of jabronis. This isn't gonna work. Tacticangel's pretty much dead.
Torpedoes, direct front.
It appears as though something has happened to my boat. Do-do-do-do. Oh, we might be able to get him. We might be able to get him. Ah, that's good stuff. Did you kill me earlier today? I get a lot of messages from people who are like, "Hey, thanks for letting me kill you. I follow your YouTube channel." And it's like, "Didn't you watch my intro? Please don't shoot at me. I'm very afraid." But it's kind of cool. It's interesting. It's very different. It's very different than when I play World of Tanks, where no one cares who Tactic Angel is whatsoever. Well, this certainly doesn't look like I never play. What does this do? Detectability range -3. Dispersion. We'll do this. Auto resupply. Good times. I hope they implement this because I think these flags look a lot better than what we have. A little over an hour ago. You probably were sinking me while I was complaining to Amazon how they can never seem to find my house, no matter how many times I give them an opportunity to try. What does all this mean? Okay. Great. Did it not? Why doesn't it not say my 50% there? That's weird. Alright, so we're going to try the Hermes. The Hermes is the Tier 4 introductory aircraft carrier for the Royal Navy. Oh, you sent me a message too. And I sent you a message back, I think. Right? Where's my phone? Oh, it's right here. Darren, I don't think you responded to my message. But I have a lot of people who shoot at me.
Action stations enabled.
I'm not really sure what to do here. Oh, I gotcha. Real life and all that nonsense. Yeah, pretty much all I've been doing today in terms of World of Boats was I got on, I got the 4 or so wins that I need in order to kind of advance the ships that I was working on. And then I started trying to work up some money because I'm always short on credits. And I don't know how other people do it. And I'm just always short on credits. The other thing that I think they could do is take out aircraft spotting ships. If they did that, I think that this would actually be significantly more fair because I wouldn't be shooting at this Wix. I mean, just imagine if a person who had any idea what he was doing shot at that Wix and actually hit him like more than once. There you go, 4 times. Set him on fire. That's a bad time. So if there wasn't as much of an issue in terms of like aircraft spotting, and if there wasn't quite the same on-ramp to actually playing an aircraft carrier, and not as much differentiation between how much damage and how much damage the planes could take, then I think that aircraft carriers would probably work pretty decently well. It's I don't know if this is a popular opinion. I don't think that it is. And I'm not sure to what degree you can even say Wargaming is listening to their fans about this sort of stuff. And I have no idea just what happened there. But I kind of felt like I should have hit him with one of those, right? So far this stream has been like, let's watch someone play artillery. Okay. Unfortunately, it's probably not going to get a lot better. Yeah. Because really what this is just like an hour or two of me like just looking at what's going on in terms of World of Boats. And what can we maybe look forward to in the future as console players? There you go. Couple fires. That'll help a little bit. So my guess is that guy's going to put out the fires. And I'm going to queue up this squadron of bombers and see if I can't set them on fire again. But I'm not really sure what a Ganuta is, and I'm not sure if that's what I was shooting at before. So, you know, forgive me. Here we go. He's doing a little dodgy bits. We're trying to go north and south, mostly because we're going to have to drop these across his axis. And there you see we started another fire. Pretty good. Kind of carpet bombing sort of thing that these British bombers do. I like it quite a bit, actually. Got a couple hits there. Still, just a terrible amount of damage that I'm doing. Bombers are ready to take off, huh? That guy had a bad day. St. Louis, I'm fairly certain, has a guy on the top of the ship shooting a 9mm at anybody who approaches with an aircraft, so this shouldn't be too terribly hard to hit. Well, that is sad. Alright, where's F? There you go.
Our team has taken the lead.
Nuremberg, huh? It's just not fair. As I recall, you were not alone, Darren. I think I had a lot of things to worry about in that game. Well, looks like he went bye-bye. As it turns out, his 1911 was a lot more effective than I expected it to be. And I expect that their aircraft carrier is going to be way off here in the corner. There you go. And we are lined up along the axis already. That Langley is steaming towards us. There's a nice little lag spike. So one of the things that I think you can still do is set these things on fire, and if you set them on fire enough, then they can't launch planes, because I guess it's like kind of automatic that if they get set on fire, they'll use a repair kit or a damage control party, and then if they've already used that, then they just kind of have to burn. Alright, so we're moving in on this Langley, but it looks like everybody else is as well. I mean, we're still not doing a great job. 13,000 damage is terrible. And I'm not a complete scrub when it comes to playing this. Played on the test server, I played on this server. I am not the worst World of Warships player who has ever existed. And I'm trying to like move around him at this point to make sure that I am coming up on his side.
Fighter returning to ship.
Yay, I hit his ship with the thing. Yeah, fire on the deck stops you from being able to launch, which is good. But it feels like it's hard to accomplish nowadays, and I guess the game's over. So, good times. Tacticangel wins again. How terrible was he? Oh, he was only kind of medium terrible. Lower end of medium terrible. Good times. Alright, Ranger. You can do it. What is this? I get a container. Here we go. I want more resources. I am so happy. I don't even know what to do with that. Wait a second. I think if you go to Armory, I think this is where you go. And it's like, you can buy stuff. So if I have like 250,000 coal, I can get a Yoshino. And as you see here, I have just over 10% of that. So that's great. Practically there. Oh, there's an Arizona. I own that on the console. That's a fun time. Okay, well, that's great. What does this say? This is kind of like their okay, I don't know what's going on there. I don't really even care either. So here we go. We're going to get right back into a game after we make sure. Yeah, we are upgraded. And it says I have 131. Ooh, can I buy this? Oh, that'd be funny. I've never played a tier 7 ship, but what I really need is a tier 8 ship. I feel like that would go extraordinarily well. I actually might buy that. But I kind of want to buy I kind of want to save my free XP for the Royal Navy. The Royal Navy carriers. Just because for some reason I want to do that. Cool. We're middle tier. We'll see how this goes.
Action stations.
Now the nice thing about the PC version, since you have the console, you can kind of tell if people are going down the middle of the map without having to actually use a ship to see it. In this case, it doesn't look like anybody is, so that's a plus. Spotted. I don't know, man. Isn't this 2? Yeah, it is 2.
Massive storm moving in.
would be neat if they semi-realistically modeled storms so that it would limit visibility, but it would also really, really slow down DDs, but it wouldn't slow down battleships quite as much. Clearly, whatever destroyer popped that smoke screen, he's still down there. Because he is just shooting everything that I have to pieces. There you go. 2 hits, 9,000 damage. We are simply the best player who has ever played this game. Unfortunately, our team is losing. I guarantee you it has nothing to do with me.
Autopilot mode enabled.
I remember something about this game, and it's either that the Leander has really good AA or really bad AA. I think it might be good.
Fighter airborne.
Hey Anthony, I am ready for the Tirpitz on Legends. Tirpitz is a fun little ship. And by little, I mean really actually quite large. It's like the Scharnhorst grew up to be a real battleship. And then it had a drinking problem. So the steering's a little funky. I am interested to see what the requirements to earn
Waypoint reached. Destination reached.
that ship is, because you'd expect it to be quite a bit worse than like the Atlanta, but I guess we'll see. We don't have that long to wait because it's going to be just on what, like Tuesday? Unfortunately, I won't be able to do a review of that because I am not spending $150 on it. I will, I guess it's like $160 actually, if you consider the price of Admiralty backing plus all of the levels. I'm not spending that in the first week just to do a review of the Tirpitz. I'm going to try to earn it just like everybody else. And if it doesn't happen, then I guess I'll have to throw more money at it. Because, you know, it's a fun ship. I don't know in terms of a Tier 7 premium how much money it's going to make. You would assume it would make more money than a Tier 6 premium. And that's already super, super high. That was just stupid, what I just did right there, but whatever. Here we go. No! More bad decisions. That looks like a... It looks like a Nelson, but it's not. And my aircraft carrier is getting shot at, so that's great.
Autopilot mode enabled.
Not feeling super good about this. If that was the Nelson that did all that damage to me, then I will feel a little bit better about trying to dive bomb him here. Nelson looks like a fun ship. It's got essentially all of its turrets in the front of the ship. And that gives you a little bit different feeling for how to play the actual boat.
Enemy battleship sunk.
So, as it turns out, we managed to get rid of it. So, not too bad. Looks like we might have some sneaky people trying to go up the middle. Let's see if we can't scout them out. Everybody thinks they're some flamu going to be able to shoot this gap. It's a lot harder than it looks. And it very, very, very rarely works. Too many boats there, so we're going to go ahead and recall our ships. Airplanes? We're going to try to get ourselves off of that cliff because it's not helping us at all. We are losing, which is not helped by the number of people who are not trying to cap bases. Gneisenau. All right, I need a half a kilometer to arm, I think. Well, that didn't go very well. There we go. We actually did hit him. So, ugh. Ugh. It looks like he is pretty well dead. But you can see here, Gneisenau doesn't, as I recall, have an amazing AA rating. But it still chews me up pretty terrible. And that's one of the things about kind of the current meta with the aircraft carrier is it's feast or famine. If you're top tier, you tend to do pretty well. If you're bottom tier, you do pretty poorly. Now I understand I haven't done really anything worth talking about at this point in the game, so you know, maybe it's that you're listening to the wrong person. Maybe it's that, you know, this just doesn't quite work. That guy was certainly trying to shoot a lot of shells at me. It looks very intimidating. I'll say that. It looks intimidating. Well, it looks like we backed him off from the middle, so at least we don't have to worry quite so much about that. Probably what I should do is see if I can go find that Leander that's off to the west side of the map. And if we can find him, then that'll help everybody else on the team shoot at him. There he is. There you go. 7 penetrations. That's one of the sexy things that you can get occasionally with these American rocket launchers. We're going to try to duck under some of that flak. And we aim high again. We get 9 penetrations that time, which is even a little bit better. And it looks like that Leander's the last guy left on the enemy team. He'll probably get killed by the time I get there, so...
Our victory is in sight.
Oops. That was not right.
Battle ends in 5 minutes.
Tacticangel, you idiot. So the Turpids as a reward, kind of an interesting choice, yeah. I mean, it's a big reward, that's for sure. But I don't know. I don't know what their future plans are in terms of like selling other ships, or even selling the Turpids itself. Does it become an ultra rare ship because the only way to have gotten it was to do this event? That's kind of interesting. I'm not sure that it's necessarily like super good for the actual brand and for the long-term survival of the game, but you know, it's a choice. I actually really, really want this ship. Let's do something stupid. No. What? No. There you go, like this. You go, yeah. Yeah, I don't need any of this. I do need some of that. But we're not going to do it. Air 20%. Mostly because if I'm getting attacked by aircraft, I'm probably pretty well screwed. Anyway, damage control party is like, what, 5%? We don't have engine boost, so I'm not really sure why that's even an option. Not really sure what to do here. I like American dive bombers, though. You're not going to give me a choice? What is this? Flight control? Yeah, I like this quite a bit. Now we just need to choose some options. I don't know. Camouflage, and then we'll get going here on the what is this? Halloween. Sure. Oh, that looks.
Action stations.
I'm not sure what's going on with the stream. I think it might be dead. I don't think I've ever even seen a Seattle. but this is terrible. Oh man, that's a bad time for tacticangel. So that was bad.
Massive storm moving in.
There are tier 10 ships in this. I have never played against a tier 10 ship. So this is going to be fun. Montana. That's a tier 10 ship, right? That's a tier 10 ship. Yamato. What's that? I'm just kidding, guys. Ugh. Montana. Yamato. Maybe I just fly around. Make sure all these people are spotted at all times. I'm not really sure. Just look at how brutal that is. Because it kind of feels like the Seattle is definitely a tier 10. Seattle. Where is it? Tier 9. Just cruiser? Well, this is freaking terrible. Hey, I don't think I want this. So I mean, maybe I just do not have the requisite skill, but it kind of seems to me as though there's some awfulness involved in just the amount of hurt that those ships can put out into the sky at this level. And that's, I mean, if you want carriers, you want them to be at least okay. All right, here we go. It's going to start to get brutal here in a second. We're going to try to duck down underneath it. I don't know, man. That's rough. That is just rough.
Our team has taken the lead.
I am at a solid 0 damage. Bailey, I appreciate it. I'm not doing much tonight, but I appreciate it. We're just kind of checking out what's going on the parent game, the World of Warships on the PC, and I never got all that far in this game. Mostly play it for the aircraft carriers, and I know that the aircraft carriers are a big interest for the different people who are playing the game. Nice. We're up to 600 damage, guys. We've done it. Yeah, I don't know if the graphics are all that good on this. This is a decent laptop. Well, that was fun. This is the laptop I use to render all of my videos. I think I'm somewhere in the mid-range in terms of graphics. I mean, that said, I think the game looks really good on the console. In theory, if we use the rocks here as kind of a thing to blind the enemy, we should be able to get a slightly better attack run on it. I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah, I mean it looks good on the console, man. When you don't have to worry about all the other things that I'm running at the same time on the PC, you get a lot of extra horsepower out of the console, and I mean right now it just looks good. You don't have very many frame rate problems, and for the most part you're playing on mostly at least this good of graphics. I find if I sail, I don't know why I say you drive boats, but you sail planes, but it's another one of those problems I have. If I sail over to those cliffs, though, you can sometimes see kind of it doesn't look all that good. There's tacticangel. He is a winner. That was freaking brutal. And I bet, just like World of Tanks, that if I go into this again, I'm gonna get some awful matchup here. Hi Tristan. I didn't know I was live either until I was like, you know what? We're gonna do it. We're gonna go live. Auto resupply. I have to hit this button. Well, I hate this. So here we go. I know we need that one, and then there was one over here. We'll just mount it. Who cares? I have all this stuff. What do you do? Flooding recovery? XP per battle. What do you do? Yeah, let's make things cheaper. Alright, so we're going to go hit auto re-enable something there. And then 49%. Ah, it's just embarrassing. On console, we're still sitting at 63, which is pretty good. Minus 5% aircraft restoration time is necessary. On this, it's not so good. Not so good. I kind of feel like the planes are not so fun right now on the live server. And we're in another tier 10 match. See, this is the thing. The other thing, or the thing that I keep complaining about, is when you're down 2 tiers, it just feels terrible. And it feels terrible mostly because the AA is just so good.
Autopilot mode enabled. Action stations.
Well, I'm not too worried about my inability to play on the live server. I actually kind of got in late on the whole World of Warships thing, and I want to say I started playing like a year ago, maybe 2 years ago. But I have significantly more games at this point in 4 months, 5 months on the console than I have in the PC version. So kind of shows you the disparity here in terms of like how I spend my time. I've had a lot more fun with Legends than I have had with the PC. And I don't know, some of that's maybe that I was in the alpha, so I had a little bit more time to work out the kinks. But the games are significantly different. That was some nice lag.
Destination reached.
It's just brutal, man. It's just brutal. So, I mean, if anything, when you see the person who's out there and thinking, man, I really want aircraft carriers for console, there are some arguments against it. And losing all your planes is not super fun. And it looks like he's not doing a whole lot better there. I could drop a fighter here. That's the T command here. I'm not quite going to do that. A lot of times people use the fighter for like spotting.
All stations, concentrate fire on the target.
got a little bit carried away there because I was kind of watching where my torpedoes went. That one was on me. But still, it's rough. It's very, very rough. Alsace, I don't know anything about this ship. Probably doesn't help. I mean, every ship at tier 10 has great AA. Not every ship, but most of them. Which probably doesn't help. Maybe we'll duck around the side of this island. See what happens here. So I think what they've said, and they've said this since the alpha, was they'll put carriers in the game if they work on PC. Or once they work on PC. And I kind of feel like that is both an if and when at the same time, because carriers are really unpopular on PC for several reasons. First of all, they waffle back and forth between being really competitive and really OP and really worthless. And they so fundamentally change the way that the game is played that a lot of people feel like there's really no way to balance aircraft carrier because the aircraft carrier, when it enters the game, you have good plays and you have bad plays as the enemy team. And if you make a good play, ordinarily it would be a good play. But if you make a good play and there's a carrier, sometimes it's just suicidally stupid to do the same thing. And that's kind of that's tough. I mean, it's tough to build a game around. And in a lot of ways, since you don't have to worry about this sort of gameplay, then maybe that's better. But opinions vary. I am simultaneously very pro and very anti aircraft carrier. So to the people who really like aircraft carriers in the game right now, I say this is a fun system conceptually, and I would really love to play it with a controller. To the people who don't like aircraft carriers, I will tell you that it sucks to play this in its current state because aircraft carriers are just not all that competitive. And that kind of sucks. It just kind of sucks to play it that way. I'd love to control this with my PlayStation 4. I think they'd have to dumb it down just a little bit, but I think if they ported over what we have right now, I think a lot of people would not like it. They would they'd be very upset with the way that aircraft carriers work. I mean, other than the actual flying of the airplanes, because it's just sexy, right? So we're going to line up on this Alsace because essentially son of a gun. Wow, those were some really poorly aimed torpedoes because you would have expected them to get quite a bit closer. One hit. Hey Bane, I don't play that much on PC. I mostly just play the aircraft carriers. And that's kind of the thing that we're looking at tonight. That I look at every couple of months. But I have played on PC. I was actually always kind of interested once it was on PC to see it ported over to console. I would say on PC, my general impression of the game is that World of Warships seemed like a game that is conceptually fun, if not actually fun. So the learning curve was pretty steep, and so I could never quite fully get into it. Plus, I enjoy playing on the console too much. Yeah, I don't think I'm getting a second run off here. I'm going to become a statistic here in just a second. Yeah, Corsair is a good looking aircraft, man. If I were doing a better job, I would be dropping fighters, and I'm pretty sure that I should be dropping F4s at this point. But I'm just not doing all that much for my team. I've done 41,000 damage, which is kind of the best I've done all night, which isn't saying a whole lot. I cannot imagine that Graf Zeppelin is doing all that well. That's a wildly inaccurate torpedo drop, but he did manage to hit somebody. They've got a Massachusetts in the middle and a Baltimore. Baltimore is going to be brutal, but if I can use this island, maybe I can get around it. Wait a second. I got 2 hits there. Not the worst. Man, that's awesome if your grandfather fought in World War II. My grandfather was infantry in the Korean War, I want to say. He was not real open about it. And there are several reasons, one of which was that I told him he couldn't smoke in my house when I was 3, and apparently he never forgave me for that. So, such is life. But the other is like you got people out there and they've seen some stuff, let's just say, and it's understandable why they don't want to get too into it. I killed something. That might be a first tonight. The Spitfire is a good looking plane, man. I mean, it's hard for me to say because you've also got the P-51, and that's just a great looking aircraft as well. So, they're all very, very sexy airplanes in a sense. So, I don't know how you really rank them, but they're all pretty great. Some of them aren't naval though. P-51 definitely not a naval aircraft. Come on, Alabama, you can do it. No, you can't. uh,
Provide anti-aircraft fire support.
now I do appreciate you guys coming out and at least watching me try to struggle through these games. I'm gonna lose this game. Son of a gun. No! No! I wanted to press a different button. Okay, so here's the problem. I have a whole bunch of not complete squadrons now, and I've really screwed up. So, I was trying to press T for fighter, but I pressed F for fighter because Sesame Street told me how to spell, and I just can't get over it. So now we have those aircraft flying back, and I didn't deploy the fighters that I wanted to.
Provide anti-aircraft fire support.
So this is there you go. We're dropping some fighters over there. This isn't so good. Is that a Baltimore? Do I hit it? That doesn't look like I hit it. So I think Bane, kind of the strategy changes between different versions of the actual game because they keep nerfing and buffing and nerfing fighters and carriers and fighters and other ships. So it's not like super consistent what you can expect when it comes to different boats. And I really hope that this guy has the kid or the Graf Zeppelin dead to rights. But it looks like he's doing a good job steering. And now I'm going to lose a whole bunch of shit. Or what in the world? I forgot what I was flying around. Son of a gun. I don't know what I'm doing. It's organized embarrassment is what it is. There you go. We took 8 ships out. We got one measly hit. How do we get out of this? No. Let's run away. There we go.
Fighter airborne. Fighter airborne.
So I'll get some kills here in terms of aircraft. There you go. Aircraft shot down. Aircraft shot down. Like, anti-aircraft is fairly powerful in the game. And if I were really smart, I could figure out where they've... that destroyer is. He must be down... It looks like his last look... Oh, there he is. Wait a second. I saw him for like half a second. No!
Fighter airborne. The enemy is about to win.
Well, that's no good. How terrible was I? I was about averagely terrible. This is really exciting. Usually I'm below averagely terrible. All right. We're going to go back down to the Hermes. So as you can see here are the 4 ships we've been playing. The Hosho, the Ranger, the Lexington, the last couple, and the Hermes. So we've got a... This is the thing I don't like so much about this version of the game is, like, I've got these individual commanders that pretty much all universally suck. So that's not so great. Like, this guy is okay. My guy in the Ranger, he's got 11 points. So he knows a little bit. He knows what's up. But like this guy, he doesn't know what's going on. And I'd have to just keep playing this. Since I played the PC House, the Turpits, I mean, the Turpits is a fine ship. It's essentially a Scharnhorst that's like, it's grown up to be a real battleship. It went to the gym a whole bunch, so it has real guns. It can punch you really hard. But it also developed, like, a serious problem with alcoholism. It was a little overweight. So it kind of turns slow, and it feels a little bit chunky, cumbersome in the water. But it has a lot of the same benefits that you'll get with the Scharnhorst. Same with the Gneiss now, really. Alright, so we're down 1 tier here, which is significantly better than down 2. It looks like the enemy team has a Texas, which is not super. Oh, we're on straight. Everybody's favorite, straight. I hate this map. Probably the problem with this map is, in particular, this side, if you spawn on this side and you just start towards the middle in an aircraft carrier, there's going to be somebody who's going to shoot the gap in the middle and come around in a destroyer and just blow you up every time. So we're not going to do that. We're going to go to the outside of the map. We're going to see how that works. Where is everybody? Oh, of course, the first thing I spot is the Texas. V170, I'm fairly certain that that's an exaggeration of its AA, because I think that it has like 2 machine guns or something like that. So we're coming around. A lot of times you have to kind of like aim these runs in anticipation, like I did there. Started the run before I could actually see the guy. And if we're really lucky, we can... Somebody hit him. Somebody hit him. Thank you. There you go. We can get that guy out of the game before it gets, like, super terrible. So, Bane, you're looking forward to the Turpits. Are you going to spend, like, $160 to get the Turpits the first week, or are you going to grind it out like I am? Carl's ruh. Grinding is probably the better answer. That first couple of days, I'm going to have a hard time not wanting to shoot at everybody who's in a Turpits, just to make them feel bad about their purchase. That said, I do hope to be able to win it, and I'm not really sure what the challenges are that we're going to have to be able to complete. Well, shoot. But I'm sure they're going to be brutal, because if you figure we have to get through essentially twice as many points as we did in any other campaign, that's just got to be brutal, right? I mean, as much money as I've spent on this game, Admiralty backing is probably the least of my problems. So I would probably agree with that. I mean, ultimately, I hope Legends is doing pretty well, because I want them to be able to support that game for a long time. And it's hard for me to kind of get a feel for how many people actually play the game. I know when people send me messages, I feel really, like, kind of humbled by the whole thing, because, you know, I'm not an extraordinary player, but that people recognize my name and then they send me a text or whatever message. It's interesting, And the more that happens, like, the better I feel, but the more that it happens, it also makes it feel like the community is smaller than I hope it is. So it's kind of weird, like it's good and bad at the same time. Uh, I mean, I appreciate it. I hope people like the channel. Now, if I'm really ambitious, tomorrow we might actually see me try to put together a big video on offense for the newbies. And maybe, like, in a week or two after that, the German cruiser line. Oh, we win again. Oh, man. I definitely won this game for everybody. Scoreboard might differ a little bit, but I definitely won that game. That was all me. We're going to play another game in the Hermes. I'm starting to get a little bit tired here, so it might get a little punchy. I mean, I'd like to get to that crate. I'm not going to get to this crate. That's just ridiculous. I have fallen asleep playing video games before. I'm going to try not to do that. It seems like it would be a little bit embarrassing if I did it while streaming. Right? Some people have suggested, like open a Discord. Community thing is kind of like the same idea. I mean, ultimately, I'm not really here to, like, make myself seem like super important or anything. So, like, I would feel a little bit weird about owning a community like that or having a Discord channel or whatever. Just because, I'm putting these videos out mostly because I enjoy the game and I want other people to enjoy the game so that I can murder them in the game. And so it's like I don't really need all the recognition. I want everybody to have a good time. I just want to have a better time than even the people that I'm helping.
Action stations.
I think I'm just being honest here, right? Because it's like I need people to shoot at. I'm shooting at them to kill them. And that's how it works. That's the online. Now, don't get me wrong. Particularly in the modern political climate, I'm not going to buy a giant ship and go, like, on a rampage or anything. But I do understand in a competitive sense, I need other people to play against. So, there you go. Whether I have to fly planes, get the boats. Kind of feels like there are not enough maps in this game. This is kind of an aside. Just completely different than what I was talking about. Because I think I've played this map too many times already.
Autopilot enabled.
All right, German ship. I'm not sure if the Nassau is one of the German ships that are going to be joining us next update, but it is my understanding that most German battleships do not have a lot of AA. So we're going to put some shells into him, and then we're going to run away. Hopefully some of those airplanes make it back. It looks like we're probably going to get 5 of the 6. Even if they switched it up so that occasionally, like on this map straight, you fought east and west instead of north and south. I think the north and south is complete rubbish. But like if you were fighting east and west, my guess is I would also not enjoy that as a destroyer. But at least it would mix things up a little bit. Oh, the Danae? I think the Danae is a tier 4 on this. Yep. I'm moving around towards that Orion. The spawns do suck. And I'm not sure I like the uneven spawns where they spawn 6 people opposite 3 people. You get a lot of that on Haven, and it just feels terrible. Alright, we're going to see if we can't get to this ship in the back. Oh, it shot down all of my other planes. And now I'm being hit by torpedoes. Oh, this is not good. This is not good. There's not a lot I can do about this at this level because I do not have the ability to spawn fighters myself. So we'll just have to try to come up with a different plan. Our team is gently disintegrating. We'll see if I can't change that Kohlberg's mind. Ooh, it looks like he got tagged. Well, I'm not going to change the Kohlberg's mind because he's dead. So the Orion's the next closest thing. There's a fire. And he put out the fire as I was coming around the second time, so he probably couldn't even be set on fire. Bane, I'm right there with you, buddy. Have a good evening. I will catch you in the comment section and maybe on the next live stream that I do. In any case, I don't have too many of these left in me anyway, because it's apparently exactly midnight. So many bullets. What are they shooting at? That guy up there? Now we're trying to go around this Orion to a certain degree, but it looks like he keeps turning, so we're probably going to have to engage him the old-fashioned way, which is flying towards him. Once again, we are trying to do a bombing run, so we're going to do stem to stern. Get some penetrations there. Couple more. Nothing too special. We are losing, though. And that didn't help a whole lot. It looks like he might be turning, and here we go. He's definitely detected us at this point. We're going to try to get nice and parallel to him. We got 1.1 kilometers on the drop. I think we've got him with that torpedo. And it looks like he's out of the game. Looks like that Nassau has gone back into the straits. So maybe we can get to him without drawing too much attention from the enemy aircraft carrier. That said, the Wyoming and the Charleston are probably better choices, simply because they are not very anti-aircraft heavy ships. Wyoming does have a little bit more than, say, the Arkansas, but That's just because the Arkansas doesn't have anything at all. And as I recall, the Charleston is essentially a St. Louis, just a little bit different. Well, that was nice. A good time to get a little bit of lag. So anyway, that didn't work.
Team has taken the lead.
Somehow we have taken the lead. I guess it's not somehow. We definitely have the advantage in terms of spawn points that we own. Not spawn points, but capture points that we own. It looks like their aircraft carrier is trying to make a break for it, so we're going to try to line up an attack along his axis. And hopefully that'll work out. It doesn't look like he has too much health left. So this could be relatively successful. Well, shoot.
Victory is in sight.
That went very poorly, very quickly. So we're going to go ahead and try to recover that one aircraft. That ain't going to happen, by the way. And launch some other aircraft to actually go after the ships that we can affect. Boosh! On fire. Your ship is on fire.
Waypoint reached. Destination reached.
That was not super good.
Autopilot enabled.
So we're not doing that bad, so to speak, but we are a little concerned about just how close these other ships are coming to our actual position. So maybe get rid of some of them. My aircraft carrier has been detected. I hope so, man. I hope victory is in sight because I'm a little bit worried about this. That Nassau is relentless. We are whittling him down nicely, but I just don't know if we're going to get him in time. Nope, I'm pretty sure he's dead.
Waypoint reached.
Yeah. Alright, looks like that Nassau is pretty well dead. If we can get a good run on him, we should be able to finish him off.
Waypoint reached.
Victory is in sight. Fighter airborne.
Well, that's no good. He's shooting at me now.
Critical engine damage.
That Nassau must be repairing itself as he's charging me, so, not so great, but, it's going to happen. We will go ahead and line up a nice attack run here, and he should be pretty close to dead, right? Pretty close.
We sank their battleship.
We did sink their battleship. All right. I feel like I didn't do terrible there. Oh, slightly above average. This is the thing that we need for World of Warships on the console, so it'll tell you how much money you made and maybe didn't make. But such is life. Considering how heavy my eyelids are becoming, I think it's a good time for me to go ahead and say goodbye to everybody. I do appreciate everybody who's listened and has sent along their comments tonight. This has just been a little bit of random nonsense in the live server on the World of Warships on the PC. We're playing mostly aircraft carrier to see what they feel like. Is it good or bad? The answer is not so good at this point. But hopefully they can iron out all these details. And if they do decide to put battleships in World of Warships Legends, hopefully the... did I say battleships? Hopefully the aircraft carriers are well balanced. So... thank you, everybody, for listening. I will see you guys on the next one.